something that's going to jive. So, I mean, providers for us, it doesn't have to be male or female. That's the other thing across the board. Just because it's a male doesn't know they know more hormones than a female does and vice versa. Can they relate a little bit better maybe to that sex? Maybe. But at that point, that really doesn't come down to it. So it's got to be somebody that really wants to learn still. So we like to hire maybe a little bit younger person, so somebody that's a little bit younger that is really thriving on education. They want to educate themselves. They want to make sure that they know everything that's right for the patient. And they have great bedside manner. So at that point, like some doctors come in and they're very blunt, 5 minutes and you're in and out. And you're like, man, like, wow, that guy was kind of brutal there, like kind of rough, like, and if they don't have good bedside manner, if they have good bedside manner, the patient is more receptive, right? And they appreciate that because they normally aren't used to something like that. The whole reason we opened Titan was because, she used to be in the medical field at that point for almost 10 years or plus. She would see how these doctors would come and interact with patients, and she would get the patient's feedback afterwards saying, well, what do I do with this? I had more questions and I don't know. And so at that point, like, we want to be able to have a provider, whether it was a doctor or a nurse practitioner, be able to really be receptive to the patient and be nice, right? I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you're talking to somebody that's paying out of pocket, right? And they want the service, they want the care. And I think that's the biggest thing. So bedside manner. So you kind of get the feel for somebody in an interview. So when we interview somebody like that, they might be real dry or not to the point, and we'll catch a feel. So I mean, if we feel good as far as when we interview them, we'll let the nurse practitioners then do a working interview with the nurse practitioners, and then they'll get a feel for, can they catch on quick? Are they going to be right for patients? What's their intent, right? What's their motivation to be here? Is it to help people? Or is it to get a paycheck? And if it's just to get a paycheck, this is the wrong place for you at Titan Medical Center. If you want to help people, this is the right place for you at Titan Medical Center, because we want to help every single patient, not one. And they're not numbers. That was the other thing. Doctors' offices, stuff like that, they have to turn and burn. If you take insurance, you're not getting reimbursed like you should, and you have to turn and burn these patients to even make a nut. I totally understand that part, and that's why we never went with the insurance model. Could we get more patients with insurance models? Possibly, right? But at that point, like, it's just not worth it to us. So, those were the big things, I guess, right? Bedside manner, wanting to help people, and being able to educate themselves and receive education from the providers. Because once they come in, they're getting hard crash course, and they're getting looked at by two different providers at the exact same time on what they're doing. And some providers don't like that. They don't like to be micromanaged. They don't think they need to learn some of these different things, and those just aren't the right ones. So we'll weed them out real quick if they're not supposed to be here. But usually during the working interview, we'll see how a provider is going to interact with the patient, and be able to receive the information and apply it forward. And you'll see their bedside manner when they talk to somebody right away. Are they nice about it or are they not? And just, it is what it is. But usually right off the bat, we'll get somebody that's, fairly educated in medical, obviously, but at that point, being able to receive Titan Medical Center's information and apply it forward.
Something I think for both of us, ironically, so many things work this way. I know that you're under the weather. Is that okay to say a little bit?
Sure,
still,
absolutely.
But I mean, the reason why I say that is because I think I don't think the society sees Johnny have an off day. Doesn't see Mike is sick. So, what did you do? Because I think this is a great insight for everybody out there. Because they ask me, "Hey, do you train when you're sick? What do you do when you're sick? How do you get over it? What kind of things?" And so, I'm so curious to find out, what do you do? What did you do as you're going through this?
Sure. So, I mean, there are no days off with me, no matter what, even if I'm dead sick in bed, right? But I got to start doing the right things. I got to prioritize, make sure I'm healthy, because without me being healthy, I can't do anything. And this is what I preach to everybody out there. You have to have your health to get out of bed, to go to work, to be with your girlfriend, do your hobbies, job, whatever it is. For me, I guess, sometimes prioritizing rest. So there was one day where I did sleep, 6-7 hours during the day, which that is not a norm for me at all. So that's when like John's really sick, and I never get sick like this. So it was definitely a surprise to me. I'm like, man, I have a really good immune system usually. Like when Sharice or Peter or anybody gets sick, like if I get it, I'm usually at 1 or 2 days and I'm done. But for me, obviously the Triimmune was a big thing for me. Glutathione, vitamin C, zinc, injectable on one. I was injecting that every day. The other thing was thymosin alpha 1. I was injecting that too.
Can you explain? I know you're saying what they are. Can you explain a little bit about each of those?
Sure. So the Triimmune has 3 different components in it. It has glutathione, which is a super antioxidant that's produced in the liver. And at that point, it helps with a number of different things. With one, oxidative stress. It helps boost the immune system and fortify the immune system. It'll help with if you have congestion or allergies. Game changer for that. So it will help. Vitamin C, obviously another antioxidant, right? And it goes right along with everybody else. So, a lot of people get their vitamin C, and another good way to get it would be through oranges if you eat oranges. But for me, what I did was I tried to double up on things. So I was eating oranges and pineapple, and I was injecting, the Triimmune. So the third part of it was zinc. Zinc's an essential mineral. It's good for fortifying the immune system too, as well, and helping build up the immune functions. So those 3 things are in one injectable. So that is one therapy that I took. Thymosin alpha 1 comes from the xylem. And at that point, what that does is that helps regulate T cells. And there's 2 types of T cells that are in the body. There's killer cells and helper cells. So what happens is if you have a virus, like I have flu B, okay? I had it tested, swabbed, and that's what it came up positive for.
You couldn't even get an A out of that, huh?
No, they have flu A and flu B. And they said flu A is worse. So I'm like, man, I'm blessed to not get flu A because, man, I haven't had, I'm telling you, I haven't been sick like this in a long time. I can't even tell you.
You're going to get sick, Johnny. Will you please get sick? I mean, come on.
I know, right?
Go all the way with this.
I'm so upset. Like I even left for the couple of days. It wasn't worth losing this much time of work and effort and everything that was going on. So, at that point, it is what it is. But with thymosin alpha 1, this is great with the killer cells and helper cells. So the killer cells, what they do is they hunt down the bad cells in the body, and they go attack those bad cells. And what they do is they kill them. Basically, that's what they're called, killer cells. They knock it out, and then the helper cells come along and they revitalize that cell. So it's great for immune function. It's great for the cells as far as T cells. And T cells regulate everything, even when the other virus is going around, right? This was the big one for that. So those are the 2 main ones that I took. And I didn't come off any of my other therapies as well. So, I'm still taking my blood pressure medication, my lisinopril, 10 milligrams. I'm still taking my enclomiphene to go around with my testosterone replacement. My Nastrozole, my hair health capsules, nothing changed regimen-wise. That's the big thing, I think. I think a lot of people think that because I'm sick, I'm not going to take my therapies. And that's the wrong thing to do. Because, even if you're on testosterone, people think some patients are like, oh, I'm on testosterone. If I'm not in the gym working out and I'm sick at home, I'm not going to take my testosterone. Well, that could work against you too as well. I mean, you're going to put your body through shock to a certain extent of, listen, it's used to you being so regimented and taking these medications and therapies, and then all of a sudden, off the board. I'm trying to think of the other things I would do. I mean, those are the big things that I would do. The other thing I was doing was
before you keep going. Now, this is what you did when you were sick, but like you said, a lot of the primary peptides and stuff, T and all that, and clomiphene, you did not stop. You stayed on that, and then you added in a somewhat, you'd call it, let's just today call it a sick protocol, just to really knock out whatever's in there. Could you do a smaller portion of that consistently
every day
or periodically, so you don't get sick?
Absolutely. I mean, thymosin alpha 1 you can take daily. It's a little subcutaneous injection, 15 to 20 units per day. It's nothing crazy. So that's just something very easy and simple to add into the regimen. The Triimmune, I usually take glutathione every day or every other day anyway. But yes, you could take a little bit of this and definitely help boost or fortify the immune system even more. So if you start going around sick people and stuff like that, and like I said, we go to a ton of different expos or airports or just around a lot of people all the time. People want to come up, they want to shake hands, they want to get close. And at that point, usually I don't have no issues with that. And that's probably the reason why. I mean, But at that point, this one got me. And I just, like I said, it came kind of out of left field. And when I got back, I wasn't feeling bad. And then Monday, it just, boom, hit me last week. So
I hope this helps you guys. I think this is going to help a lot of people out there, because I know that a lot of people want to build up their immune system so they don't get sick. So this is a great point of it. And this is also the guy that's his Titan Medical's his baby. That's his baby. So he can do this and he can do these to optimize his body through this illness. But I think what's great too for me is my immune system is broken by the time I am off to an appearance or an event because of my nutrition and dieting. Understand the reason why it's broken, everybody, is yes, bodybuilders look visually amazing on stage, right? But that's an illusion. Inside, they're not, because of the dieting, the training, the lack of sleep, and so on and so forth. So your immune system is broken down a little bit. And so this is a great insight for me that when I do the Olympia later this year, is maybe I go into a Terminator type of protocol prior to the Olympia. That way I go into it feeling very healthy, but my immune system is functioning at a high level to keep me from not getting sick. I think this is a great idea for me. So I don't know if that helps you guys out there, but it seems like it's a good one. Take it from there, Johnny. Does that make sense to you?
Absolutely. I 100%. If you think that you've got some big event that's coming up where you're going to be around a lot of people, because you can't always pick out who's sick and who's not, right? You just don't know everybody. And some people, they're not considerate enough to not be around people. And at that point, like, you just got to prepare yourself. And at that, even Olympia last year, I don't know how many people came up, hugs, kisses, Mike shaking hands. I mean, how many people? I think we think thousands and thousands and thousands of people, and walked away with that. Thank God, with nothing afterwards, right? So, even at the Arnold and the whole nine. I mean, it is what it is. But yes, going into it, being prepared, knowing that you're going to be around all these people, and you might be in close contact with people that might have some sort of sickness. It's always better to fortify that armor on the outside, right? And make sure you have some sort of shield up. I mean, even during those years, 2020 to 2023, when this virus was going around, I don't know how many healthcare workers that we had as patients that were taking a number of our different therapies that thanked us because they never caught anything. And I'm like, man, that's awesome. Not to say that's going to block everything. You're not going to get sick, but most people usually don't if they fortify their immune system properly. And a lot of people have autoimmune disease now too. There's the biggest number, I think, of people and kids that have autoimmune disease nowadays. So it's really essential for you to understand your immune system and give it to what the best possibly things you can do to it to feel better, I guess, or not get sick. So yeah, I'm definitely gracious and grateful for the different therapies that I have, for sure, 100%.
And I know Mona's pointed out to me after the Arnold, I didn't get sick. And I normally do get a little sick after it. And it was interesting because I'm doing the glutathione, and I came out of that dieted extremely down and still fine. And it didn't occur to me, which is it's like, wow, I took that for granted. It's like, wow, I was protected. I went in and armor held up, and we did that. Here's a great question though. So again, we were just kind of covering over, Johnny was under the weather and what his protocol was to come back from that as quick as possible. And then I joined Johnny in the sense of trying to take it easy over the weekend, and I upped my calories for a couple of days to finish out this next 2 weeks of dieting.
Yes.
And it's simple stuff really helps you. And for me, just not training and eating higher calories got me to recover enough to move forward. Again, not stopping any of the protocol that Titan Medical has me on. So continue forward, continue taking what you're supposed to take after talking to your wellness provider. And we started the whole conversation today out with Jeffrey having an amazing conversation. But what I took away from it was the difference between what Titan Medical talks about and how they work with you to try to make you actually better instead of just trying to make a buck like a lot of these companies that just popped up during the lockdown. And that It's an unfortunate thing, but for you guys out there, so
Yes.
make a phone call over there today or right now. Get your blood work done. Talk to the provider. You don't need blood work with peptides, but my recommendation is, why wouldn't you want to know what's going on inside?
Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely. And even if you're sick, I mean, that's a good indicator if you get blood work done. I mean, if white blood cell count is high, then there's possible infection inside the body. You don't know that right away. If it's a virus and stuff like that, you can get these at-home tests. I got one. I got one from Pfizer. Actually created an at-home test. It's called Lucria, and I bought these the other day, and they're like $30 a pop, so they're kind of a little expensive, but they're by Pfizer, and they test for COVID, flu A, and flu B all on the exact same test, one swab. So it was really cool to be able to do this at home, not having to go to primary care, not have to go to anywhere else, and be able to test yourself and see, hey, listen, where do I stand with this?
Well, here's a great question there for you. Can you see that?
Yes, sir. Is there something you can do for cognitive decline as we age? Absolutely. NAD is going to be one of your biggest ones out there, guys. NAD works on the cellular level. It helps repair damaged cells inside the body. This is something that can help you, one, increase cognitive function. Make sure you're not declining, because that's what happens. We start withering, we start dying, everything starts breaking down the body. So at that point with this, I mean, it's a game changer if you're looking for cognitive incline instead of decline, for sure, 100%.
Let's keep doing that. I like the questions we're getting here, folks, but I have Mona here that wants to step in and have a couple
What's up,
questions
Mona?
with you, Big Johnny.
Sure.
Hi, Johnny.
She's taking advantage. We take advantage of having John on as well, not just for myself, but also for Mona. 1 second here.
Yeah, I want to jump in because we want to make sure that we don't forget about the ladies.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you guys pretty much covering everything, and I've noticed a huge difference on myself after using some of the obviously medical peptides. So I have not gotten sick at all throughout this whole season. And I don't get sick that easy, but I felt, last year, like my body has been changing and with everything going on. So I've been doing the Triamune, which is absolutely amazing. I did the glutathione. The NAD keeps me focused on what I have to do. Yeah. And then, believe it or not, John, as I'm getting older, I feel like I have to do cardio. I've never done cardio, really. Like literally, even when I competed, I just tweaked my diet. And then right before the competition, I jumped on for a little bit on some cardio sessions. Like people, they're out there on Facebook and know me from like years back. They know my body was just on point. So as I'm getting older and I'm approaching 50, I jumped on that AOD. And I have to say that I did see some quicker results,
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm cheating a little bit, but if you are able to get the results that you need, with a little bit of help here and there, I think that's probably the best thing.
Absolutely.
So my question is to you here, now that I'm yapping my mouth away. I've done my blood work sometime, I believe, months back. I believe it was November. So when do you suggest, how often should I do my blood work so I could see
every 3 to 6 months? 3 to 6 months? Every 3 to 6 months at least, right? We want to make sure that, listen, we want to make sure everything has not changed, or if it's changed for the better or changed for the worse, we can see these things and these trends. If you wait longer than 6 months, I wouldn't recommend it. I would say every 3 to 6 months for anybody out there. And then if there's like a big problem within one blood work, that might be tested 30 or 60 days after that, just to, to follow up to make sure the problem has subsided or we're on the right track per se.
All right. So if, like, for example, if I jumped on that AOD, how quick should I see some results from there? People are confused. They're like, am I seeing anything? Maybe they're like confused. So how long, like how many weeks do they have to be on it? 4 weeks, 6 weeks to
I
actually
mean, I would
see
say
some
30 to
results
60
to feel
days. Usually they're going to start seeing results.
Okay.
30 to 60 days, you're going to see results. Within 90 days, you definitely see results. 90 days is usually a really good
I agree
landmark,
with
I
you.
guess,
90 days,
as far as that goes.
even for diets, right?
No,
No?
I think if the person knows their body, I noticed it in the first week.
You did?
You will.
But I'm so
You will.
sensitive to my view. I added AOD to my protocol recommended by Johnny as I'm dicing down. And that following week on AOD, I was like, wow. I almost, it visually felt like the 20-year-old Mike O'Hearn, where we all know this, you're eating pizza and you're still in shape. But it was like that mentality. It was like, wow, this week's work really paid dividends. And it was because I added a peptide like AOD to the protocol. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's incredible. So we got to, but that's my take. Obviously, I'm leaner. I know my body. But for you guys outside, AOD is a go.
Not everybody's like you. This guy's crazy with his body. He eats an egg and he sees the difference.
He's crazy. He's on point, man. That's what happens. If you're so on point like that, right? The littlest, minute change, you will see a difference. I mean, one thing added, one thing taken away. I mean, you'll definitely see a bigger difference like that. If you're somebody that's not on track, and you're not as consistent as you should be, you might not see the change as fast. But usually people see change within 30 or 60 days on AOD. And that's Tsikouris per se, who really doesn't work out that much. She's got a decent diet, but not the best diet in the world. I'll be honest. But she sees changes and stuff like that. So if she can see it and she's a believer, then at that point, I would bet the money on the house. Let's put it that way, that it's going to work very well for across the board. And it's worked very well for so many different patients in so many different ways. Even people that don't like the injection, they can take the oral. The sublingual works. It might not work as good as the injectable, in my opinion, but it still works pretty well for patients where they're like, listen, I seen a really good effect and a good result from this, and they keep ordering it. Patients are going to keep ordering products or therapies if they don't see any result, they don't feel any different. They're just not going to do it. They're like, I'm not going to waste my money on this another month because I'm just not seeing the change or difference. And some people might need a different therapy, right? Where if a patient needs to lose like 30 or 40 pounds, 50 pounds, then AOD might not be the right one for them. It might not be able to get the adjustment they want or the instant gratification they want as fast. And that's where we line up a different regimen. And we're all right, listen, well, this is going to work better for that. It really is. It really just comes down to the patient, per patient, what the regimen it is. Your regimen is different than Mike's regimen. That's different than my regimen. That's different from Tsikouris' regimen, and across the board. There's some things that, you can line up mass regimens and they're going to work no matter what. But at that point, it's always better to have a personalized regimen to work for what's going on with inside your body. Like Tsikouris, she can't take some of these different medications because she has PCOS, she has endometriosis. So at this point, GHRHs like testosterone, which works phenomenal, is not going to be good for her, right? Because it's going to flare up some of these different things and give her different problems in different areas. So that's really where it comes down to your health history, your family health history, and kind of what the goal is, what we're trying to achieve.
So just to clarify, if somebody is really overweight, like let's say 400 pounds and is 5'8", don't take AOD and eat potato chips and sit on your couch because you're not going to lose the weight. Let's just keep that in mind.
That's not going to work out the best. You'll lose some weight, but you're not going to lose a dramatic weight that you need.
You said two things, and I don't want to run over. You good?
Yeah.
I jump back?
Please do.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't forget.
Bye, Mona. It's great seeing you.
Bye.
You said two things, and I think my team was here going, have Johnny talk about this. If you weren't here at the beginning of this talk, I recommended a company for people to go do blood work at, and I really got discouraged and stuff when a young 28-year-old who performs on stage singing for 3-4 hours these concerts came back with a list of $10,000 a month, and I'm like, that makes no sense to me. That's a company trying to make money, and so that threw me. But you said something here going, my protocol wouldn't be Mona's. Mona's wouldn't be mine. We're two different
Right.
people. And that was another thing that I noticed, that I was talking to some more people I sent to this previous place. And the one man is I'm talking built different. The dude can crush me, and he's just a monster of a human. Now, vice versa, his wife is not in great shape, does not train, is a complete pinnacle opposite. Same protocol was given to them.
That's crazy. That's just crazy. How do you
it's
back
like
that up?
It's like, wow, you really slipped up here. Just like, wow, how do you can't back that up? It's just two different worlds. A man that's a meta god and a woman that's out of shape. It's like, no, you both take the same stuff. Here you go. Have a good day. Give us $10,000 a month. Wow.
That's like a nutritionist giving the exact same food plan to everybody across the board. This is going to work for everybody.
It's the same thing for everybody. Everybody's the same. Absolutely not in any world. And so I just kind of want to make that point of view. And I love, again, the trust that I have with Titan Medical, that I'm not worried about sending anybody over there. I know you're going to get in good hands, taken care of correctly. Shoot, I always write these things down because I definitely don't want to forget. Got to up my NAD. Sure. But it was the list that you said is different for everybody. Make sure that you go over there and see it, and then have those questions with your provider on what you can and can't do. And then also just prioritize what you want most. Right. You know, if you want to drop weight, make that your priority for right now. You can always change it. This is what I want to say. If you're intelligent enough to know and see something that your body's changing, like I was on the one aspect on AOD, but again, I wasn't smart enough, and I'm not intelligent enough to realize that I went to these expos with a somewhat broken down immune system because of diet and training. And I walked away healthy, and it had to be pointed out to me going, you know, the glutathione's working for you. And me going, oh, light dawns on marble head. Oh, I didn't even think about it. I didn't think it was doing anything for me. Yeah. And so be careful about you trying to judge yourself on doing these things. Have your people around you, those ones that love you, going, no, you are dropping weight. Or you're not dropping weight. And again, all those little aspects. I'm sorry I had to throw that in there just because.
Oh, it's great.
I didn't realize that the glutathione is helping me and keeping me healthy. I haven't been sick, and I haven't gone to these expos, which I normally always get sick afterwards because of the extreme. And so it's like, congratulations to me waking up and having somebody in my corner going, keep the glutathione in. Even though you don't feel it, it is keeping you protected. And I think that's another one about the TB 500 and the joint connective peptides that are available that I say prioritize. That's my number one. That's keeping the joints healthy is number one. And so I don't want to lose time here with this, but Johnny, what is this week's protocol? What is the, as you call it,
therapy of the week?
Therapy of the week. What do we have?
All right. So this one's actually, it's actually 3 therapies, because this week is the Titan trifecta. So Titan trifecta, it consists of 3 different therapies that you get that all work together synergistically, or if you just want to take one by themselves, works great for a result as it is. So the 3 are Hercules Potion, Titan Complete, and our ECA Stack Plus. So let's go over these 3 amazing therapies that have no hormones in them whatsoever. They're going to benefit you in so many different ways and get you so many great results. Hercules Potion by itself has 9 different ingredients: glutamine, arginine, ornithine, lysine, L-citrulline, proline, taurine, NAC, and L-carnitine. So when we talk about this, and glutamine is one we talked about, previous couple of days ago or whatever it was on the supplement lines, right? So glutamine is great for recovery. It's in a number of different supplements out there. It's going to help recover the body. You're working out real hard. It's going to be there for you. It's something that you don't get instant gratification of. When you inject glutamine or take it orally, you don't see an effect right away. But if you are getting recovered faster, not as sore, this is where you really see the glutamine really working. Arginine and L-citrulline. These are something that you're going to get instant gratification of right away, every injection, right off the bat. These are both precursors to nitric oxide, vasodilators. So what they're going to do is they're going to increase blood flow to all throughout the body. They're going to increase that pump. They're going to increase vascularity. I don't care if you might do 2 sets after doing Hercules Potion. It's going to feel like you did like 6. And you'll stay pumped for about 4 to 6 hours afterwards in those areas. You can inject this directly into the muscle you want to work out that day, or you can inject it and it's going to work synergistically throughout the body. After that, you have ornithine. Ornithine is an anti-fatigue amino acid. This is going to help you do more strenuous activity, whatever it is, whether it's running a marathon, whether it's training harder in the gym and doing more sets or more reps. You're walking around Disney World or Universal all day. You're going to be able to get to that really easy. If you're having, intercourse with your partner, hopefully you go a little bit longer there too as well. And the blood flow is going to help you with the extremities too. After that, you have taurine. It's great for brain function. It's great for cramping. You have proline, which is a collagen-based amino acid. We talk about this all the time, creating that more collagen in the body, helping out there. And then you have L-carnitine. L-carnitine's a number of different things too. We're talking about helping build muscle, blood flow, nervous system, all those good things. So, you're getting a lot of good things there. NAC's in it. So N-acetylcysteine. So N-acetylcysteine and glutathione, it's a precursor.
Say that 5 times fast. Holy
right?
cow.
And it's great for liver functions, right? So you're supporting the liver because the liver is a filter through the body. Everything that you put in orally is going to go through the liver too as well. You're going to get processed. A lot of people have fatty livers, either because of their diet or I don't know why. I mean, they just do. Usually it's because of diet of why. Or if they're taking a lot of acetaminophen or they're drinking a lot of alcohol, this is going to help along with that. You want your liver to be at the top notch thing as far as running optimally. So you're processing fats faster through there too as well. So that's one component of the Titan trifecta. Now we're going to get into the second component. The second therapy
before you jump, this is also a good mixture to take with your PT 141, correct?
Sure.
If you want to mix those two, those are something for anybody out there that wants to be a savage in the bedroom.
You want blood flow. I mean, listen, PT 141 by itself is going to create amazing effects.
But this is a good addition to it, right?
If you add this into there, yes, you're gonna be true champion, Titan style. Right. I promise you. I promise. With those two, especially, you have libido effect, and then you'll have the blood flow for the extremities down low, whether you're a male or female. So if you're a male, you're going to get more erection power. If you're a female, you're going to get more sensitivity to the lower extremities, and that always helps.
Okay, I wanted to add that in there. Keep going.
Sure. So we can talk about our second one: ECA Stack Plus, ephedrine, caffeine, aspirin, B12, and chromium. We have different dosages for these different things. Real ephedrine HCl. So it's not ephedrine bark or extract or anything like that. It's real ephedrine HCl. So ephedrine is going to help with fat burning. It's going to create an euphoric effect too with mental clarity. And then you have caffeine that backs up. And we're not talking about super high doses of caffeine either. We're talking about 200 milligrams of caffeine, or we have lower doses. So at that point, when people are taking pre-workouts out there, they might be taking 300 or 400 milligrams per serving and taking maybe 2 or 3 servings of these things. You won't need it anymore. If you take ECA Stack Plus or Hercules Potion, you're going to get the best effect in the gym. And I don't want to call it a pre-workout because it gets that stigmatism, but it would be the best pre-workout scenario that you're going to be able to put together that's going to give you everything you want, from stimulant effect, which is not going to make a crazy stimulant effect where you're bouncing off the walls on the inside or you got to go to the bathroom inside the gym. And you're going to get all the pump factor, the more strenuous activity factor. I mean, these are going to go great. Great for weight loss too as well. So the third component would be, and that's a capsule. The third component would be Titan Complete. That's another injection. You're talking about your branch chain amino acids, your full B complex, B12, MIC, methionine, inositol, and choline are the three that consist of MIC. And then you also have L-carnitine there too as well to add for a little bit more benefit. So B vitamins obviously are going to create so much different effect throughout the body for the nervous system, for energy, hair, skin, nails. I mean, B12 added on there too as well. We know about that. And then MIC. So MIC, methionine and acetylcholine, are other things that are going to help the liver process fats faster to the liver too as well and aid in weight loss effect. So you've really got 3 awesome therapies. One by themselves is great. Working all 3 together, a tremendous effect and a better result across the board in so many different lights. And that's the Titan Trifecta.
There we go, guys. That's something you guys can call up Titan Medical right now. And those are peptides, so you don't need the blood work with those. But my recommendation again always is check your blood. And Johnny's really nice about this. He does the 3 to 6 months. I'm much more frequent for myself only at this stage because I'm really trying to take a understanding of what changes on blood work when you add peptides to it. Sure. What changes when you train, what changes when you train extreme. And so all those kind of things go into it. And he talks about one, again, going back to the ephedrine and that energy and stuff, is like, how does that change? And for me right now, that was one of the biggest game changers besides the AOD. And again, it's a capsule, and you want to talk about energy all day and clear and the ability to push through. Whew, that's the go-to. I do, for you guys out there that are sensitive to stimulants, I am going to continue to try to see if I can't get Mona on a very minute dose of the collection.
Yes.
Because of the fact that she is go and does not have the luxury to nap, sleep, all the things that we take for granted. Because our little boy just turned 5, but we still treat him like that infant of feeding food through the nights and so on and so forth. So I know she's getting hit by both ends. But yeah, that's something, Johnny, I'll talk to you about personally after this and see about that. But for you guys to be able to talk to Johnny or one of his staff members, you got to make the phone call. You got to make the phone call, because I know that everybody's very
text
shy.
Message, guys.
Text them. There we go. Can they do
call,
that?
Text.
Can they get a response?
Absolutely. So best thing for us, guys, call, text, email. You're going to get a response anyway from a real live person. There's no mass text messaging. There's no bots. There's no nothing. When you text in, that person texting you back is a real person that's going to be able to answer your questions. And for the ECAs, we make 3 different doses for people out there that have sensitivity to stimulants. So if you are very sensitive to stimulants and you're like, oh man, if I drink a Red Bull, I'm bouncing off the walls, we have something that's lower. Sharice is she has a very, very high sensitivity to stimulants. And at that point, she has a lower dose. So, we have something for everybody in that ball game that's going to help and make sure that you're not going to be overstimulated.
And here's one final question for you right there.
Sure. Any specific enhancer you would recommend for a beginning bodybuilder? Wow. Okay. There's so many, man. If you didn't want to go any, Hercules Potion would be a great one right off the bat. You could use MK677. It really depends on what you're trying to do. If you're really trying to gain lean mass and build up, MK might be a good one for you. Testosterone might be a good one for you. You're talking about GHRH and lowering belly fat too as well, raising IGF-1 levels. This could be good. I mean, there's so many across the board of what I really recommend for somebody that's a beginning bodybuilder. They'd have to give me a little bit more information about themselves. You're older, you're younger. Because if you say, listen, I'm 40 years old and I'm a beginning bodybuilder, then at that point I'm like, listen, we need to get some blood work checked and let's see where everything lies first.
Wouldn't that be the go here too, right?
Obviously,
I get that. Just because you're starting this journey doesn't mean that we know what's going on in your age with anything else. Right. And also you've been a person for a little while here. So what's going on with the blood work? And again, right. It's like, hey, I'm a beginning bodybuilder. Great. You're not a beginning person. So Are you over the age of, I think it's over 18, over 20?
Yeah. If you're over 21, let's get it checked out and looked at.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're 18 years old, you know, and not to say that 18-year-olds are messed up, because there are a lot of 18-year-olds that are messed up, whether they mess with SARMs or they have really bad genetics or something's went on traumatically. So everybody's different. That's why I can't buy this is going to be for everybody. This is, if you were going to be a beginning bodybuilder, this is exactly what I would take. There's no way I could sit there and tell you that, guys.
You just hit it out of the park. If you are under 21, why don't you talk to your parents and see if you can't see your family doctor and do some blood work to see what's going on there, because I know tons out here. I'm at Gold's Venice, which is still a mecca of bodybuilding, and I get the youngsters coming in here. And to me, everybody's young, but I mean, I'm getting these teenagers that come in there and they've already destroyed their bodies, and it just crushes my soul. Going, man, you have so much life, hopefully, to live, and you've already destroyed your body. How can we rectify that now while you're young? Because that's another good point. It's like, and we'll do that on next week's show. We'll kind of go over all that. It takes some months to rectify and fix your body. So let's get started on that process.
Yeah, I mean, there's players on Peter's baseball team that are talking about they're taking trend. These kids are 15 and 16 years old. Mm-hmm. Like, I tell Peter, I'm like, listen, this is, they joke around about and all. I'm like, dude, this is wrecking them right now. It's wrecking them. They're not even fully developed yet. Play your genetic card as long. I don't care if it's the worst genetics you got in life. Play it to as long as you possibly can, and then start looking at different options if you need to. But at that point, just because you got the Trend twins or anybody out there, I'm not knocking them, because God bless. But if you got people out there that are, promoting this type of thing for younger guys, and they think that this is the way, it's not the way. The younger guys, listening to the younger guys is probably not the best idea. If it was me, I'd be looking at the biggest, oldest guy, and then probably Mike or one of these people, and thinking about, what did you do? Because you're at this height still. You're not 20 years old. You're not 30 years old. No, you're at this height. And at that point, you probably did some good things along the way, and I want to do that. That's the game plan I want. That's the roadmap I want. I want to be able to go across the United States without problems, right? If I'm driving. Instead of, I'm going to get a short distance. Yeah, I might look good. It's like an electric vehicle. There's no chargers anywhere else past 300 miles. You went to 300 miles, great.
At the exact time.
I just posted something. Some lady says, "Are you on steroids?" And I was going to say, go over and check my blood work. I have my blood work up on my stories today. So if you guys want to see the Mike O'Hearn blood work, head on over to IG right now. I got that up there. Take a look, screenshot that bad boy, and send that out to your friends. That being said, Johnny, man, you could see why I didn't take. Yeah, let's go. What do you got?
We got one more on here. This is a really good one. I am 42 and on TRT, and I don't feel like I'm getting the results. All right. First question here. Are you on a fully developed hormone replacement therapy program? Because when I see TRT, I automatically think of testosterone replacement therapy. All right. That's awesome. If you replace the testosterone that is missing or low or deficient, that's one aspect. But if you don't feel like you're getting the results, then we need to look at some different things. Are you taking an estrogen blocker, an aromatase inhibitor, because you possibly need one? Are you taking any add-back therapy as far as for gonadal support? Because if you're not, and you start TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, your testosterone shoots up. You might start feeling good for a little bit. But then on the back end, if estrogen is real high, then you're not going to feel good. You're going to be like, man, I'm still tired. Like, why am I still tired? I shouldn't still feel fatigued. This is a couple different people I've talked to in the last week. And the other guy was in the shop. I was talking about Rocky Luciano, who says, I know Michael Hearn. And I'm like, on this. He's like, yeah, but I still don't feel good. And this is the reason why. What I would say is blood work and seeing what's going on and testing the right levels and then getting that corrected.
Yeah, I don't need to say anything here. This is Johnny's world. Me as a person, if you're doing something, then it goes back to what we said. Get your blood work done, and that should tell you what's going on, right? And then I'd make sure that you're with somebody that's actually trying to take care of you and not just selling you the kitchen, the sales pitch car salesman. And that's a huge thing. Here's the truth. This is the sad reality of this. The sad reality is not every company has your best interests at hand. And the reason why we found a place with Titan Medical is because they actually coincide with exactly my beliefs on health. It is not about the most jacked guy. It is nothing about that. It is about being able to move and be healthy and feel good and have a full life with your family. Because again, one of the biggest things that Johnny and me clicked on was it's family, health, and then whatever level of exercise you want to do, cool.
Right.
But we're not here to make a quota or anything. We're here to get you healthy.
Right.
And if you guys are out there and you're walking around going, I'm healthy, and you got the Titan Medical shirt on and stuff like that, I'm living the Titan lifestyle. That itself is payment in a great way for both Johnny and me and the companies. Absolutely. That we believe that it comes down to living this lifestyle. So I don't know. You can add to that, Johnny, if you'd like.
No, listen, you hit it right in the head. And me and you are both on the same wavelengths as far as that goes. That, listen, you only have one life. You only have one body. You want to live the longest you possibly can and the best quality of life you possibly can. Because you know what? You got family. You got people that love you. You want to be around for them. You want to take care of them. You want to see all these great things and be healthy while you're doing it. So you can make memories that nobody else can take away from you. So that hit it right in the head. Vitality is the biggest thing that you could possibly want.
Next week, guys, we're going to be talking about, I'd like to talk about prostate again, going back into it, because there's obviously levels of this, and also just getting checked in there and white blood cells. We haven't dived into that. I know that there is something amazing about blood work outside of your testosterone level.
Right.
And I don't think people see that. And I think they just go, well, what's my T at? It's like, okay, hold on. What about what's going on with your body? What's going on with your blood? What's going on with your liver and kidneys? And so next week, we're going to really dive into that to make sure that we are actually not just healthy, but you youngsters need to make sure that you're healthy and you're not setting yourself up to fail by doing something you think the big guy at the gym is doing. And so it's okay for you to do it. That's not what this game is about.
Nope, definitely not.
That's it. Big Johnny, thank you so much. I'm going to give you a call here after we get off here.
Yes,
and then I put in a huge order for PT 141 now that Mona's back. For you guys who don't know about PT 141, check it out.
Yes,
get
sir.
your research in and see what's going to happen here. We'll talk soon.
Approved. Yes, sir. I'll see you soon. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks,
I appreciate you guys.
Hey, thank you for hanging out, everybody here. I think we got to most of the questions. The biggest thing is Johnny is available to you guys. So you can give him a call. Like you said, text it or get a hold of him any way you feel you can or want to. Get the blood work done. Healthy is healthy. That's what we want to be. And like one guy said that he's already on something and he doesn't feel like he's at that level. So what's going on there? Blood work explains so much when you get it. There's a lot of aha moments.
Yeah. This was a guy from last week that was taking care of his father and said he didn't have time to get blood work. And you made the point, well, how are you going to take care of your father if you can't? And so he went out and got his blood work. He's all good. He's healthy.
Nice job, man. That's yeah. Just somebody's on the outside looking in. It's always easier to have those discussions, but I'm glad you did that. All right, man. We'll talk to you all soon. I got to hit this workout again. We got 14 weeks out from the big shoot, so enjoy, keep going, keep pushing. And then for you Titan members, we'll get another check-in here coming up.